Hi everyone, I'm Michael Sanders and I'm a photographer. And this is my Go See show. Welcome to my Go See show in which I interview the models who come and see me, like the lovely Eva here from Starsystem. I talk to them about their lives and their life stories and how they got into modeling and what it's all about in an effort to give back. Now, we've got some extra questions here today from friends, families and other interested parties, but we're not going to start with these. Let's start as I always do, Eva. Thank you for coming, by the way. Welcome on this drizzly day in Brooklyn.
It is. It's kind of romantic, though.
It's romantic.
Right.
And you have the dark, romantic spirit of your mother country, Russia.
That's true. It actually reminds me a lot. Like the weather here, sometimes it reminds me a lot of my hometown. That's right.
Which is where?
I was born in Moscow, but actually I grew up in St. Petersburg.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I've been to both. I went on a school trip when I was about 11 or 12. We went to Moscow. We went to St. Petersburg. We walked the streets of St. Petersburg. It was really beautiful.
Did you like it?
I loved it. And the people were so friendly. We were just walking down a side street and there was a school and someone saw us as a little procession of students and invited us into the school.
Really?
Randomly. It was great.
Really?
I loved St. Petersburg.
That's so nice.
It has such an atmosphere, as you say, like a grey Brooklyn or a grey London.
London.
And I think that weather and environment does affect the mood, the character and personality of the people.
For sure. Sure.
Which makes Russians and English a bit depressive.
That's true.
If not romantically inclined. And drinkers. Because you know in the wintertime when there's not much sun.
That's true. People are getting depressed. For sure, the weather affects on us so much.
So they drink to elevate their serotonin levels.
At least to try to escape, I think, this mood sometimes.
Yes, the
hard.
monoclimate of grey. Now, why we love living here in Brooklyn, because Eva comes in Brooklyn. Look at all the lovely hearts. I said
Love
lovely.
you guys.
You said lovely. The great thing about Brooklyn, unlike Moscow and London, which can have months of grey,
Yeah.
is that this is a weather system by the sea, by the water, that's constantly changing. So you can have a dull day like this, a rainy day, and it'll be sunny the next day.
That's amazing about New York. I love it here in Brooklyn, in New York. Yeah. That you at least you always have the hope, for the next day is gonna be better.
That's right, and that optimism, that sense of it can happen.
That's the difference
so
between
New York.
Russia.
Of course, in Russia it can't happen. It's not going to happen.
No, it's not happening.
Now, do you feel that you've actually escaped from Russia? And everything that entails, escaped the weight of the pessimism of the country? Or were you always like that?
Like that.
Are you an
Thank
optimist?
you.
No, I'm saying, were you always optimistic?
It's hard to say because eventually, I think we forget a lot of stuff right after it's happening, I have some memories with my past, and for me it seems like, I've always been myself, I've always been this way, but I don't think I actually was.
You've changed, haven't you?
Yes, for sure. I think I change all the time.
We're all in a constant state of flux in life. We're all changing constantly.
Yeah,
We're
sure.
getting older, we're dying, and all that.
Also mentally, also my life changed a lot. It has changed a lot since I left St. Petersburg, since I left Russia. And for sure, I think since I got a chance to see so much, and to do so much, and to live in so many places, I think it affected on my personality a lot. Obviously it did.
Yes.
And different cultures, different people, different situations. And
Who are your parents? What do they do?
my mother, she's a teacher in a children's garden.
In kindergarten?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Elena.
Did she always want to do that?
Yes.
So she is living her vocation in life.
Yes, she does.
And is happy doing it. I don't know how she does it. How do you do that? Obviously she loves children.
Yeah,
and because they're young children, it's not quite as stressful as A bit older.
Yeah, she doesn't like juniors after 7. No. She's like
After 7.
no. Yeah,
Pre-7.
yeah.
In their beautiful, pure state.
She loves babies. Yes.
Yes.
She loves babies. She said. She says she's been always about into being a mother,
Yes.
taking care of her neighborhood's children, and
Yes.
she that's what she wanted to do.
Are you an only child?
I have an older brother,
And what is the distance between you in terms of age?
18 years.
18 bloody years?
Yeah.
So what was your mother doing all that time? Why wasn't she making babies?
She was married. We have a different father with my brother.
Yes, I understand.
And
She was married before.
She was married before. She has born my brother at the age of 18.
Mm-hmm.
Then they got separated, and she was married again with my father.
Okay.
And they waited like 10 years. They've been waiting till my brother grows up to born me.
Jesus. Well, normally parents have the second child for the first child. In other words, company, siblings. Your parents did the opposite.
That's true.
They just wanted to concentrate on the one and get the first one done and out the bloody house before they had the second.
It's a different man, right? So
Yeah, right.
And she was really in love with my father. She loved him like so much, and I think it was kind of a thing which was uniting them.
Yes,
I don't think she ever thought about maybe it was hard time, in Russia it was 90. This was a really poor time for us, and I don't think she was thinking so much like wishing. And I mean, I'm sure she wanted another child, but I'm not sure that she was gonna actually get one. But I think she was so much in love with my father that they decided.
They did it.
Yeah.
That's so great. So growing up, did you feel that intense love, that you were the object and center of their universes? The sun that shone.
My mom, well, yeah, she is really, she has so much love. She is such a humble person. She is really, yeah, for sure. Well, they got separated with my father. They got divorced after...
How many years?
25 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
How did your parents meet? Do you know?
Yeah, my mom was on a vacation on the seaside.
Where?
And I'm not sure, the name of the...
In Russia?
It's in Russia, yes, and it was, well, yeah, that time it was...
No one went away?
No one, yeah, everyone were mostly staying in Russia. And south of Russia, on the seaside, and
Nice.
on the vacation they went.
Cool. What sign are you? Zodiac?
I'm Libra.
And do you know what your mum is? And
Yeah,
your dad?
she's just before. I'm not sure how is it in English.
Oh shit, Virgo?
The
The
lady.
Virgin.
Yeah.
The Virgin.
Yes.
And your dad? And you didn't tell me what your dad did.
Yeah, what he's doing, he's owning some company in Moscow.
Okay, businessman.
He's a businessman, yeah, and he lives there. I mean, I'm not in touch with him so much.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
What was it like growing up in Moscow? You said it was quite rough in the 90s.
It
Poor.
was, it was poor. It was poor. Well, when you're a child, you don't realize that, something is poor or something is bad. You just you just
Adapt.
face everything. You
Yes.
accept everything.
You weren't aware.
Yeah. Well,
Were you aware?
where?
Were you aware? Did you
If
realize?
I was aware of...
Did you
Yeah,
realize that you
yeah.
came from not that much money?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, when I was in Moscow, I was really, really young. I didn't understand that time, probably. When we moved to St. Petersburg, I was the age of 6, 7, I think. And we were really poor that time. And yeah, of course, I was always realizing, I was seeing the different... I went to school. In school, you see these things, children...
Because you compare?
In children garden, children don't understand what money is at all, When you go to school, you start to, socialize more
Yes.
and deeper. And, yeah, of course, you can see at least how everyone dress differently.
Right. Those were the codes that you could tell.
Yeah.
Now, were you cute pretty, beautiful always? And did you consider yourself as such growing up? Because you are.
Thank
But
you.
were you then? I mean, I can imagine a little tinier version of you as a child would be super ridiculously cute.
Thank you. But actually, when I was child, I was really I was not that girl out of class who was always getting attention.
No.
No.
Why not? How
No.
come? How is that possible?
I didn't like myself when I was child so much.
You didn't like the way
no.
you looked?
No.
What was it specifically about the person who you were looking at in the mirror that you didn't like? Why not?
I don't know. I was always. I don't know. It's hard to.
What were you comparing yourself to? What was your idea of beauty? Who were the girls that you thought are beautiful that you would compare yourself to unfavorably?
I didn't have a certain. I wasn't fond of certain person.
Right.
And I think I was more into. Oh, I love Courtney Love so much when I was
Courtney
child.
Love? You could be Courtney Love's love child? What do you mean?
She was.
You could be a punky, rocky, grungy rock star yourself. You could be Courtney Love's love child with Kurt Cobain.
She's amazing though. I still like her a lot.
You've got it all going on. This is a crazy aberration, mental aberration that you must have had as a child, not liking the way that you looked.
I even bleached my hair when I at the age of 16. I bleached my hair and I bleached my eyebrows. I started with my eyebrows. It's a crazy thing to do.
So you're a brunette?
Yes.
Okay. Because when I saw you immediately, the eyes that you have, and it's so funny, I saw little eyes. Talking about babies, beautiful babies growing up, beautiful adults, you couldn't escape the freaking social media storm of Gigi Hadid's 23rd freaking birthday like it was the Queen. And it was slightly disturbing the amount of sycophancy that you saw online with people posting their Gigi pictures. Gigi, I love you, you're my angel and my soulmate. Quite amazing. But aside of that, she posted in her Instagram stories a picture of her and her sister and a picture of her as a little 5-year-old or whatever. And she was extremely beautiful child. So I can't imagine you not having a similar kind of picture. And then you reminded me, just because of your eyes and stuff, of a model that I shot way back when, Natalia Vodyanova, who's Russian. And she had those loads of pretty eyes, pretty face like you. So, I don't know. You look
She's
like
amazing.
the most beautiful Russian model in a generation. That's pretty good. So how did this change? Eva, how did it change that you went from not liking the way you looked to, do you like the way you look right now, sitting here today?
Yes.
So what made the difference?
I think it's a lot of things. It's a growing up point. It's also I actually changed my look completely. Like as I say, like I bleached my eyebrows. I
What
bleached my
age?
hair. 16.
Okay.
I was 16, and I did it just because like I realized that I don't feel like what I see in the mirror is what I actually am.
Oh, you weren't a brunette. You didn't feel like that.
I felt like on my face there is something which is not supposed to be.
Dark
Yeah.
haired.
Yeah, like just I don't know. It was kind of I just didn't think when I did it. I just did, and then I bleached my hair, and then since then it started to change my career in general. And
Jesus, you had a career. You didn't have a career before that. Did you? Or were you a child modeling before you turned 16?
oh, yes, I
You
did.
were. Okay, well, we've got to talk about that. Also, another incredibly beautiful Russian export is Mila Jovovich, who also you look like. There's Herb Ritts pictures of Mila at 14 when she started modeling. You look like that.
I heard that a lot.
I'm sure you
comparing
did.
myself with him.
It's not
She's amazing.
surprising.
I mean,
She is amazing.
The thing I adore about her is also that she's an actress.
Yes.
And I want to be an actress.
You're gonna be.
Thank you.
Well,
really.
whatever you want to do.
Yeah. And for me, Mila Jovovich is the person who actually proves that that the actor is like the most important about the actor is being an actor, is in a good actor. Because nowadays I feel like in the movie industry and cinema industry there is a lot like too much commercial, you know, that it's actually business, that the actors very often are just beautiful but they have nothing inside. That some people, I'm not talking like, you know, exactly about like certainly about some person, it's just it's not everywhere is like this, but that's what I feel like. And for me, Mila Jovovich is the person who has both. She's amazingly beautiful, in my opinion, and I mean, I'm sure many people will agree. Yeah, and she's a great actress, and she was in great movies, and yeah, I love it.
Now, do you have her ambition? Because it seems to me one of the narratives of Mila's success, especially growing up into a business so young as she did, was that she was ambitious and that her mother was ambitious for her. And she had a bit of a stage mum pushing her. And the drive is obviously inherent within you. Do you have such an ambition to succeed?
You know, it's hard to say like, oh, you know, yeah, I got that amount of ambitions, or I don't know, different amount of ambitions. I mean, I wanna do acting and I wanna do like things just not to become someone or to become famous. I mean, it's not that kind of ambitions. For me, it's just what I like to do, and for me, it's an art. And I mean, of course, I would be like incredibly happy to be in any like commercial or like to get any success in like certain arts. But the most important thing for me is just to do what you like.
Okay, so let's talk about the development of your love life, if we may.
Sure.
Okay, so how old were you when you discovered that there was other people that you were attracted to and who were attracted to you, sexuality and all that good stuff?
I mean, serious, like, I mean, I
First boyfriend. What age? Go on.
You know, it's hard to say. I mean, serious.
It's hard to say. You don't remember?
Well, I was seriously in love
Yes.
first time at the age of 16.
Okay, your first love affair.
Yeah.
Okay, and was that someone in your school? Who was this person? Do you know them today? What happened? Why didn't it last?
No, it was actually one of my co-workers, like a model. He was a model.
Okay,
also.
let's go. Oh, all right then.
Yeah.
So you were already modelling at 16. Take us to the very beginning of your modelling career. How did this happen?
Yeah, I was 14.
Good age. Mila age.
Yeah.
The Jovovich age.
I was so young. Everything was in front of me, my future.
Were you a mature 14-year-old or were you a typical 14-year-old? Did you feel like a pubescent girl, or did you feel that you were ready for what was demanded of you?
Well, I come from a very strict family, and my mom was very strict as a mother. I was not allowed to go outside of my like even apartment, like even to my courtyard without my mother.
Wow.
Till my first trip.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, so where were you when you got scouted?
I was in my city. I was in St. Petersburg. I was actually playing in a music band when I was junior.
In a band?
Yeah.
You were already performing at 14 in a band?
No, you know, it was not that serious, of course.
Were you the lead singer?
Sorry? No, I was a back vocalist and I was playing bass.
Okay, how do you do that? How did you learn to play bass?
I learned play like regular guitar by myself.
Just joining the band. Did you want to be a bass player before you joined the band? Or did you learn bass because you had to play an instrument in the band?
Yes, that's what I did.
Like most.
I mean, I was playing the like regular guitar, but not a bass.
Okay. At what age did you start that?
12.
Okay. But you didn't go to a special music school. It was just on your own, autodidact. Now, what drove you, what inspired you to want to do that?
There was one song, one Russian song, very kind of, I mean, courtyard song, if it's correct to say.
I don't know what that means.
There's really like not, well, it was not even famous song. It was something what children sing and,
Okay.
you know.
All right.
And I really liked it. It was so tragic for me. It seemed so romantic, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I want to play it on the guitar. So I learned.
Wicked. And so that began this process of.
Yeah.
Did you then start singing other songs?
Yeah, I
Yes,
did,
that's
yeah.
it. That's it. That's how you taught yourself to play guitar at the age of 12. So by the age of 14, you were a bass playing rocker.
Well, it's a loud word to say, but
Between then and then.
I mean,
you
for
did-
me, it seemed like that. Yeah, for me, just for me, probably.
Now, how did you get involved in the band?
The vocalist, like the girl who actually created the band, she was a friend of mine, and that's
Would come
that's
and sing.
Yeah, and her mother, like I started to tell the story. How did I come to modeling and stuff?
Yes.
So I was 14, and her mother of this girl, she's a photographer. And once we were at her place of her mother, and the mom of that girl, she was like, "Oh, can I take a picture of you?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was never even thinking about becoming a model or anything like that. For me, it was
Were you aware of fashion? Were you,
no,
You weren't aware of it at all?
no, at all.
Okay.
I wanted to be a dentist.
You wanted to be a dentist?
Yeah. My mom and my father, they wanted me
Good job.
to be...
Oh, good job.
Yeah. But since the mother of that girl took a picture and she sent it, and I didn't even know for what's the point of that. And I left, I remember, for a month or so for a vacation. It was summer, school vacation. And then I come back and my friend reached me and she's like, "Oh, my mother needs to talk to you." And her mother told me that there is an agency who wants to sign a contract with me.
Shit.
Yeah.
So from nothing, so the period of time when this casual photograph was taken to that call was how long? How long did it take for that to happen?
A month.
A month.
Yeah.
And so, do you remember the agent? Obviously, is it
Yeah.
the agent that you're with now?
No.
It wasn't your mother agency. So you're 14. Did she take the picture knowing that you could be a model and wanted to help you become a model?
Yes, that's what she wanted to do. Yeah, that's why she
Yes.
sent my picture to the agency.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you owe this woman your change of life and all the rest of it?
Yes, for
Are
sure.
you still in touch with her?
No, unfortunately
Ah,
not.
that's
Yeah,
that.
I'm not in touch with the girl anymore.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
well.
there you go. So you joined the agency. How did it feel? First of all, how did it? Had you already started to love yourself by this time? Of when the agency is giving you the approval, the stamp, the rubber stamp. You are a model. You are beautiful in the eyes of us professionals whose job it is to discover beauty and to push it. Did that, or how did it feel to you? How did you?
It didn't work. It didn't work. I got a contract and I was signed and I went to my first trip. And even then, I was not liking myself so much.
Oh, Eva, it's tragic.
I
Did that make you a bad model?
I started in Tokyo, in Asia. It's a bit different there.
Did they like you there?
Yeah.
You must have worked every day.
When I was child, I was
Every
working
day?
a lot, every day. Sometimes I was working twice a day.
That's
a lot.
amazing. Did you like Japan? Was that a mind-blowing experience for someone so young?
Yeah, sure.
How did your mother cope with not wanting you, her little precious princess child, to go out of the courtyard? How did she cope with you going to Japan? Or being involved in the modelling industry, for starters? I mean, that's throwing your child to the wolves, potentially.
Well, my mom was really a supportive person, and she was always very
Open to what you were doing.
Yeah, she was really she was not pushing me to do anything, never. But if she saw that I really was into something, she would support me.
Okay. So how did she feel when the call came from the woman?
It was very hard.
Were you excited?
Yes, I was.
How long did it take for your mother to come round? Was it a yes? Was it, okay, you can do this? Or was it, I really don't feel good about this, but...
No, it was like, first of all, she went to the agency with me because I couldn't even sign the contract alone. I was 14.
Yeah.
I don't know what that lady, like my ex-agent, was talking to her, but my mom, when she went out, she was like, I will think about it.
So she was impressed by what the woman was telling you?
Yes, probably she was
What do you think?
affected at least by her words. Yes.
Okay. So then how long did it take for her to agree and for you to get on with it and start working? Was it a night? Was it she went to bed and the next day she woke up and said, okay, let's do this? Or
first of all, we signed. By just signing a contract, it doesn't mean that you immediately leave somewhere. We signed. She was like, okay, we will see. And then she called my brother. Like a week we've been talking about if I'm allowed to do it or not. And if I should do it or not. My brother was really worried. And of course they were really, really worried about sending me to Asia. It's so far.
That's crazy.
But at the end, she did. She said
and
yes.
You were up for it. You wanted to go.
Yeah.
You were excited.
So much.
Jesus. Did you cry in Japan? Because there were all these stories of models feeling completely alienated in a strange land and being treated, not being able to understand anything and breaking down.
Yes, I cried on my first job, actually.
Now tell me why. What was it about that first job that brought you to tears?
It was, first of all, I didn't know completely how to get around the city. For me, it was, I didn't have internet.
Right.
I had to go by myself.
Yes.
And there was a girl, I had a roommate and she took me to my first job. And then I remember it really clearly. I arrived and it was some catalog or some lookbook, some super regular job. And we started to shoot. And I think after lunch, after 3-4 p.m., I was so tired that I was crying while changing.
Wow.
Yeah, it was hard.
You were young, right? So you had an abundance of energy. Had you eaten lunch? You'd eaten lunch.
I had problems when I was...
You didn't eat?
Yes, I didn't eat.
You didn't bloody eat.
Yeah.
So there was no energy left in the tank, and so you couldn't perform.
First of all, for child, I think it's really hard to work like 10, 12 hours a day.
It should be illegal.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean...
And that's why, we can talk about this now, because of the whole Me Too movement and all of the stuff that's come out about models being abused generally and being mistreated by this business. Condé Nast and certain other organizations have sought a new charter that girls have to be younger than 18 years old now to be able to model for certain institutions. Do you think that is a good, positive thing? Might it be a negative thing in terms of growing the necessary growth to get to 18 to be able to be a good model? You don't regret your
No.
those 4 years? Did you feel that you were too young? At any point, did you feel, what the fuck am I doing? I'm out of my depth here.
You know, when it was happening, my mom she trained me to expect from this trip what actually happened. Yes. It was really, really hard, but my mom was like, okay, you already accepted it, so you have to work. You don't have to be sorry for yourself or feel like you can't be weak. You have to do it. For me, of course, I was so much excited about Asia, about Tokyo, about everything. I didn't regret a minute about what happened. No. It was hard to work. I didn't like working, actually, shooting. Yeah.
You didn't like it. So what was it about it that you didn't like? And what's the things that you do like about it, about the job? In that time, what didn't you like?
I didn't like doing same things, for 10, 12 hours a day.
Yeah, the monotony. It was boring.
Yeah, basically you just change. Like if you're shooting, if it's not an editorial or if it's not a big job, if you're just like shooting some regular thing, you're basically like a robot. You're just changing.
You're a robot.
And I think that, no, I don't regret that I started that early, and I think that it is fine to start that early and to start working that early, but I believe that it has to be controlled by the agency, by the by
client.
by client. Yeah, at least the hours the person, like the model works, they should be certain. You know, sometimes I was like working, finishing my like day schedule, but clients were just booking me for more hours, and so I had to stay more, and I couldn't say no.
Right.
So it made me. Sometimes I was starting, and in Japan they start really early. Oh, it's our agent.
Do you want to pick it up?
No. Or
He wants to
maybe-
get in touch with you.
Maybe yeah.
Maybe he's trying to say something on
Yeah.
the live stream. 1 second.
Video stopped.
Oh, video stopped.
Ah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it actually stopped a long time ago, I think.
Did it? Shit.
think
Is
so.
my video still on? I'm sorry, guys, for the brief interruption. My video is still good.
Yeah.
And I've got some waves that I wave back at. Thank you very much. I can't really see who waved, unfortunately, at this stage. Do we? You say you're starting again?
Oop. I think. No, I don't
Oh,
think.
I'm wonky.
Can you?
Yeah, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Are you back?
We should make our
Oh, you're
nice light.
nice. Eva, you've learned something.
Well, yeah. Should we
That's
find
cool. And we're back. Thank you, Joseph,
Thank you. Yeah.
for pointing out the fact that we've been off air for a while. We can see a bit of the microphone. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so where were we? Thanks, Joseph. I have your questions here that I'm going to ask a bit later on. But let's continue because we got into your love life. from the general idea of models being protected. Okay, did you ever feel vulnerable sexually in your job in the years of 14 to 18? Did you ever feel that you were in a situation where it could be you were in danger in any way, or you were going to be perhaps asked to do things that felt uncomfortable, that you didn't want to do, inappropriate, and out of order?
It was not happening when I was from 14 to 18. No, it never happened to me. I have to be no.
That's so great.
Yeah.
But every day after that, when you turned 18, that was it, and it was total harassment.
Exactly. Not like now, you know.
That's exactly. Now you have to beat them off.
No, I mean, sometimes maybe I was shooting in Asia. I used to shoot underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was nothing about like sexuality
No.
or no. It was really chill, like I would say.
Right. Okay.
Now, since I grew up, since I started to be more look as a woman and behave as a woman more, yes, it happens sometimes. But I can deal with it because, I mean, no one does it, nothing like really straight, like, you know, straight ahead. No one really is trying to. I mean, everyone understands the politics and the situation right now, as many.
Sure. Has that helped?
Yes.
So
I
you're
think
saying post Harvey Weinstein, Me Too movement, you feel much more safe and secure in
Yeah.
your job
Yeah.
because the people who would naturally want to harass you are aware of the consequences of their misdemeanors or their
Yeah, right.
right.
Yeah.
So that's good. Do you think that this is a lasting change that will actually, or will it be forgotten in a few months' time and go back to business as usual?
I think that we really have to remember the things what happened, and that really have to be aware of what the business is and where is the business part is and where is the like personal
Yes.
like attraction like relations part is.
Yes. That's
Also-
never. Oh, can I just say?
Yeah, sure.
Your first boyfriend was a model.
Yes.
So this enters into a different. This doesn't apply because you're not at work, and it's not a sort of.
it's
There's no
different.
power dynamic really at play.
Yeah.
How did you meet your boyfriend? What was his name?
His name was Konstantin.
Wicked. What a Russian name. What a romantically Russian name
Yes.
that is.
Yes.
And you met him on a job.
No, I met him actually. He was one of the friends of mine.
Oh, he was already a friend. Just a
A friend of a friend. A friend of a friend.
oh,
Yeah.
who just happened to be a model.
Yeah.
Okay. So how were you attracted to him? How did that work? Was he a type? Tell me what attracted... How do you respond in those kinds of situations in terms of love?
You know, it was a really... that time, like I was 16, and it was first feelings, you know, they're the strongest, and it happens just like naturally. I can't even say what was actual reason why did I like him, or no, I can say that, but that was a wonderful part of my life. I think it was the best part of my life.
Wow, Eva, you can't say that. The best is always tomorrow and to come.
I know.
There's no looking back. You can't get nostalgic or misty-eyed about the past. It's gone,
I
it's done.
love my life. I'm
of
really
course, you're so lucky to have had that.
Yeah.
Right? The first bloom and blush of love, it should be that powerful and strong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about like certain relationship. It was not. I mean, it's not the best relationship in my life. I'm talking about the part of my life in general. And he came into my life exactly when I was in a really emotionally. I can't find the word.
Yes.
Like I was really inspired by world, by like reality, by my job, by my friends, and by him also. Not because he did something like certain thing, but just because I, you know, he was on the same wave. You know, he understood me.
Right. Okay, great. So why didn't that last? How does that young love not beat all the odds and last forever?
I think that, you know, at the age of... Well, he was older than me, though.
How old?
He was 25.
Okay. 11 years older. No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
I was 16. 9.
Sorry. I was always a bit bad at math.
Yeah, it was. I don't think that first relationship can bring you somewhere so much.
Right.
It's amazing to have them. It's amazing to get an experience, to learn. But I'm pretty sure that it's natural and it's healthy to go after. Yeah, go further after to see more people, to learn about people more. And
Was it an unhappy end to a relationship or an easy one?
It was really unhappy.
It was painful.
Yeah, it was the most painful, I think. Yeah.
As the first. Were you brokenhearted? Did you break his heart? How did that? What happened?
Well, I'm not sure about him. You know, he seemed like he's really broke, but I mean, I can't get inside of his head. You know, for me, yes, I can definitely say
you
that
suffered.
I'm getting impressed really easily, you know. I'm like that person who is like, when I watch movies...
You're enthusiastic.
Yeah, a lot. And
that's a good way to be.
Yeah. Well, and after maybe... I mean, I was really broke first. But then I think that part of my life, it has inspired me so much that I still remember that part as one of the most beautiful ones in my life.
Wow, the pain and the beauty of it.
I think pain makes us feel happy.
Wow, that's crazy. The relief of not being in pain anymore.
Well, yeah, that's also...
The contrast is what makes life possible.
But you know, that when you feel bad or when you feel broke, you feel so much dramatic.
Yeah,
you're
feeling.
You feel something.
You're living.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You're so Russian in that regard.
Really?
Eva. Well, enjoying the pain, enjoying the suffering. I don't. But then I don't suffer much.
You know, I don't do either. When I'm now, like, you know, I don't get the chance. I don't think that enjoying like pain is a good thing to do in general. Yes. I think it's kind of a weakness.
I avoid it at all costs.
But it's amazing to, you know, I started to feel at some point that when you do not feel pain, or when you try to avoid like certain things, for example, like not watching sad movies or not like reading sad books or not getting sad in general, sometimes it makes you a little bit, for me, it makes me feel a little bit like I'm cheating myself, like I'm not feeling a lot.
Right.
And sometimes I cry only when I watch movies, you know.
Right, I do too.
And I don't like crying and being weak in real life because I think it breaks us from the inside. but that's why I love art so much. I think in art we can express our pain, our emotions, like as much as we have, and not being in a risk to break our actual strongness.
Yes,
Actual
a good
personality.
substitute for the real thing. So, were you writing? You were in this band? Did you think about doing it further, or did modeling create a whole new path for you, and the music dropped away?
At some point, I realized that I'm not allowed to train myself to play anymore as much as, when you're in a band, you really need to be in band. You really need to be every day,
Yes.
practice and practice and practice.
You were absent doing your job as a model.
Yeah.
You were too absent.
Yeah.
And it was too fractured. And
I wish I could do both, but of course I couldn't bring with me the guitar all the time with me, and I didn't even have time to do that, to train. I was really focused on work.
do you miss it? And if you were given the choice of being a singer-songwriter, musician, pop star, whatever, artist in a musical genre, or be a famous actor, actress, but I'm saying fame, being the same level of fame and success, it doesn't even have to be fame, but just to be expressing yourselves in those mediums in a way that is satisfying to you, which would it be?
I would definitely choose acting. Yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're living the life that you need to be living.
Yeah. I was acting in a junior theater when I was.
You were?
Yeah. When I was for 4 years I did it till I turned 16 or
Okay.
17.
What parts were you playing? What parts did you like to play? And what parts were you being cast as?
We've been doing the perform called, the book of Jerome David Salinger, The Catcher in the Rye.
Yes.
So we were doing that.
Oh.
And I was really into that story.
Were you playing the lead?
I was.
What's his name? I can't remember his name. The lead of the book, who says everybody.
He's a guy. He's a guy.
Yes, exactly. It doesn't matter. You could have still have played him, but you didn't.
No.
Okay.
No, I was one of the female roles,
Yes.
and it was not even the main one. But the job we were doing then, it's not even important as. It's not even about how big is the role you are playing. It was more about training our minds, training ourselves as an actress to really feel what you're doing. That time, I was really taught to love what you do, to actually be aware of what you're doing, to be aware of the. In general, they made me love art. They made me love and respect a lot the theater culture, the cinematographical cinema culture, and I still highly respect it, and that's why I want to do it with the biggest respect as I can, because when I started to do that, I really felt like I belong to this. I really felt like I'm alive when I do it.
It is strong. It's powerful. I've done a little bit myself.
Yeah.
And when you're in the moment with another actor or whatever, you have a purpose, you have a motivation or whatever. And when you're in that moment, it's you're living somehow a kind of peak performance.
You're
You're in the flow like sports people have or whatever. When you're focused and so focused on something.
Yeah.
And it's alive.
It's alive. It's alive. We've been leaving after we've been finishing our performance. After every day we've been training and practicing, but we were leaving after that. We've been waking up every day as your role, as
Right.
the person you're act. They were teaching us to leave the roles, not to play the roles, not to act or to fake something.
So was it Stanislavski method?
No,
It
it was not. It was, yeah.
So how did it differ? Was there
Stanislavski is it's already they don't use it so much.
Right.
It's the one who's really makes
Yes,
you
yes.
should do that.
Yes, Daniel Day-Lewis is a bad example.
Yeah,
I mean, a famous but bad example because of
agree.
the destructive nature of the indulgence of that.
Yeah. Our teachers were really making us to find out the answers on the questions by ourselves. They were never telling us what to do or what we should think or why we should think that. what would they do? They would ask us, what do you think? Why did she do that in Vogue? Why do you think? How do you think it? And then asking the next question. So you would have been finding out the answer by yourself. And yeah, I
You're
think
going
it's
to take
great.
this. You're taking this very seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you a great model? And what does it take to be as good as you are? Are you great?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm great, as it's like it's too much self-loving, but
Can you be
mean-
honest and objective and say that you're good at what you do?
I mean,
I'm a great photographer. I don't have any.
I'm sure
I don't,
you are.
But I don't have any. I don't have any of the embarrassment in saying it, because I recognize in a mature, objective way that I'm really good at what I do. Can you do the same?
I think when I work, when I shoot, when I'm in front of the camera, I really do my best. I'm really
Committed.
I spend a lot of energy when I'm shooting because I feel like I have this connection with the camera. I feel like it's something alive. And I love it. I love what, I'm sure I do it since I'm 14, so of course I know. all the-
You've got practice makes perfect.
Yeah, but considering there's another part of it. The business is not like working in front of camera, or it's not like shooting, it's not like catwalk. It's more about the relationships inside of between the people, of how good
So
can you build.
clever.
I mean,
Strategy? Are you talking about strategy? Are you talking about how to build a career?
how to build a career in general. I mean, it's not about you have to you will become successful after behaving in a certain way or talking to certain. I mean, it sure is also, but
Are you a strategic thinker? Do you think this is what I want to do and accomplish, and this is how these are the steps that I think about I need to take in order to do so?
in general, in considering my life in general, yes. Considering modeling, I don't think so. I mean, I have a great agent, and I mean, of course, we are a team and we always collaborate. But I really trust him, and I don't have to worry about that things, of how to what is the next step for me.
So tell me how you find an agent that good, and what is it about the agent-model relationship that is important? Is it just about trust and mutual respect?
Well, this is a big conversation.
Tell me the story. Tell me the conversation. This is the conversation that other models and aspiring models want to hear because they're interested in this. We're talking shop, basically.
Yeah, so I met my agent. It was a suggestion of of a friend of mine. Well, of a girl who works in models.com, and she's Russian. And I was really suffering with my ex-mother agency. I was really.
Was this the first model agency you had?
No, it was
How many agencies did you have? Model
I
ones?
had 3.
This was the third mother agent who you were having problems with.
No, second one.
Second,
Third
okay.
I have now.
Okay, yeah.
I'm with the third one now. So yeah, and the second one was really hard for me. And
Why?
She was not doing a good job. That's it.
What defines a good agent doing a good job? What is the goal for you to be working and making money?
When I started, it was mostly I was focused. I was not interested into building a career or doing some high fashion things. For me, it was mostly earning money. That's why I started in Asia, and my first agency was based in Russia, and from there you can go really far. And then I changed it. I switched it. It was also an accident. I wasn't expecting to switch my first mother agent. It happened by Skype basically. I never even met her.
She approached you.
Yeah.
And said, "I can do a better job."
Yeah. Well. I was looking for an agent, and I met a guy, and he recommended her to me. So we called, and that's how we signed. But after we've been together for 3 years.
Okay.
After we got separated, I think we just started to work in a different way. So you know, it just happens sometimes. I mean, yeah.
When did you become aware that you were shifting from wanting just to make money to another bigger picture idea of how to build a brand or build your career in more long-lasting ways?
I think it happened when I started to really earn money, when I had enough money to survive, to help my mom, and to, Then I could already think about what I want to do, like if I want to like make my image.
Yes,
like,
because the basics were covered.
Yeah.
Art only happens once you can survive and feed yourself and have a place to live. Once the basics are covered, then art and culture can happen. If you don't have the other basics covered, it's much harder.
Well, that's right. I mean, someone starts like that, you know, they don't have nothing. It's for everyone's different. For me, it happened that way. And I'm really happy that after like 3 years I worked with my second agent, I found the agent who I'm working with now. And
how did that happen? Describe that.
And it was, as I said, I have a friend who works in models.com.
Yes. Is that important resource because it's models.com? And it's the hub of all things.
I mean,
in
for
the industry?
sure, you can trust the person that people, you know.
Yeah.
It's really hard to find a good mother agent. And for me, I was really into working with an agent, not with an agency, because I think honestly that most of mother agencies mostly work on building their own money. They are not so much interested in in the careers of certain models. And they have too many people inside, you know.
Oh, I see. They have volume.
Yeah. It's good sometimes it's not. For me, I chose for myself that I want to work with an agent. But I'm signed with Starsystem right now. It's a huge corporation. But me, I'm working with one person, you know.
Okay.
So, I am with an agency, but for me, it's more like, you know, I know who I'm working with.
Right.
And like certain person takes care of me. And and so that girl just suggested him to like us to each other, and we met. And I actually met the other agent before I met Joseph, the person who I'm working with now. And I felt like I want to sign up probably. And I was really about to sign up with him. But then I met Joseph and I was like, okay, no, for sure not. I felt so much alone. I felt so calm finally after all those years. I was always fighting for myself, like struggling for my rise, for everything. We had some like crazy situations in my past. And when I met Joseph, I really felt like I trust him, you know. Oh yeah, of course he is also like.
What is it about an agent that gives you this sense of confidence and calm? Is it personality?
It is also personality. There's a part of personality, but of course he has a great resume.
Right.
And
track record, proven resume, as you say.
Sure. Yeah.
He's done it.
Yeah.
That gives you.
And of course, it was like the way he was talking to me.
Yes.
And also, I felt like he's a person who is not only takes care of, you know, making you a good model, but it's much bigger. He was also caring about like social media thing. He was also telling me he explained me. Actually how the work is gonna be, how we're gonna work together, how he sees the image of our like relations. And I felt like that's what I wanted to hear.
Great.
Yeah.
So he's a modern agent insofar as he's aware of the technology of the time and how that is best served.
Yeah, he's really, I mean, he's much bigger than just a, you know, agent. He's not an agent. I think he's like, he really do. I mean, I don't want to like be.
Oh, go on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, go on. Why not? Say nice things about your agent.
Yeah, I mean, I really love him, but it's not like my personal. I don't want to bring too much of my personal opinion, you know, to the
business.
To the business, yes.
But you like him personally.
I like him personally, and I think that I mean I like also what I like about him, that he is really doing. He thinks big. He really thinks big, and I feel like
That's inspiring.
He is really inspiring. That's what I was gonna say.
Right, and he's got good taste.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think you're lucky? Do you think you're lucky in life? Are you a lucky person?
Yeah, I am definitely. I'm so lucky. Yeah, I really like.
So luck has a lot to do with it. You think?
Yeah. I mean, I think that our consciousness is, it's possible to control everything, to build your life using your mind, using your thoughts, using your like consciousness, your human being potential. I can't say that it's the only point, you know, that's the only what's important. I'm sure there is a part of luck. Like I'm really thankful and grateful for the universe, to the like to my parents, to like my life and the way how my life went in general.
Have you been lucky in love? We didn't really go on with the first boyfriend came and went, and it was part of the cycle of life and very natural and all, and all the rest of it. Did you have you been satisfied in your love life in the same way? Have you been lucky in love, I guess is what I'm saying. And does that come under the umbrella of luck?
You know, I think that looking back, like as I see my past relationships now, they seem for me, really, I was really lucky actually. It was nice. I mean, I was feeling really happy that time. I was feeling a lot. I was really emotional. Sometimes it was hard emotion. Sometimes it was really exciting. Sometimes it was really painful. In general, they all are, I mean, I broke up with everyone.
You broke up with everybody?
Yes.
You were the one who made the decision?
Yeah, sure.
And what is that about? I mean, isn't that odd, just statistically, that you would be doing that? Or is it about being in control and you making the decision because you feel that you have to?
I think all my relationships, they used to take at least a year, you know. So
to get there?
Yeah. No, I mean, they all were not less than a year. So I was, I mean, it's not a lot, but it's, and I was living with all of...
your boyfriends?
Yeah, like living together 24 hours, spending lots of time together. And I think that, you know... sorry, I'm a little bit like...
No, don't worry, I haven't had lunch. I'm going to fade fast too. I've got a question here that's apropos from somebody, which was, describe the personality of your ideal guy.
Oh, you know, it's really hard to... I was thinking about it not so long time ago, actually. And I think that there are some certain qualities that I would like to definitely see.
Okay, number one.
Yeah.
Is this going off again?
I think it's like...
Okay, great. We're back again.
Should be fine, yeah.
Who knows? Mine's probably gone. Okay, yes. You were talking about... You've been thinking about what makes your ideal guy or the personality of someone that you... of the male persuasion.
I think the most important thing, we have to be on the same page.
What does that page look like? What's on the page?
I think that, you know, again, looking back, I feel like my biggest mistake in all of my relationships, it was that with all those people, we didn't really have much in common, you know?
That's bloody basic.
That is. But
it wasn't important to you to have things in common?
You know, I can always find, if I like someone,
You'll
I can
find
always
a way.
find a way.
Is that you projecting what you want onto them?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who they are. It's your need, you're projecting.
Yes,
They're a blank canvas.
Yes. That was not right. That was not right.
But you did it.
Yeah, I did it, and that was my biggest mistake, because after a half year, that's why, I remember now, that's why I was talking about about before. I was, that made me really, sorry, I'm really lost in my thoughts again.
Don't worry about it. We can get it back. What does he look like? Do you have a type, a physical type?
No, I don't think it really matters. I like bright eyes.
Eyes?
Yeah.
What does that signify? Is that just basic human health and fitness? That if you have sparkly eyes, you're going to be healthy? I mean, is that on a biological level? Probably is, It's probably some biological drive that sparkly eyes means health.
Yeah, maybe actually. I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
I think so.
Yeah.
Energy, chi energy, good chi energy that comes through the eyes.
Yeah.
And the eyes, as Shakespeare says, is the window. The windows to the soul.
True.
Let's not forget.
Yeah.
It's how we take in the world and how
sure.
our world expresses itself through those little things.
Yeah.
So, okay, so he's got to have good eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got to have a good eyes for sure. Yeah.
Eyes are important. Okay, so where were we? We were talk to me about Alexander. Talk to me about Alexander Wang, Smoke, and Gucci. I don't know. I think what this person's getting at is I'm prompting you to talk to me about the shows that you did recently. I think there's a Gucci show and Alexander Wang. Let's talk about the highlight of your career so far. What has been the most satisfying? What do you consider your greatest achievement in fashion so far?
For me, the funnest show I did, I think, it was Marc Jacobs' show.
It was
in New York. Yeah.
When?
Oh, it was like a couple years ago.
Okay.
It was Marc Jacobs' show. Yes, it was winter, I think, and we did it with Lady Gaga. It
Oh,
was an
nice.
amazing show.
Wicked.
Such a beautiful,
Wow.
with a huge high heels on a huge platform.
Yes.
We were preparing all night. I was really sick. I had a fever.
No.
Yeah.
But the suffering in you loved it.
I loved it, and
Loved every minute of it.
yeah, it was amazing.
That was a highlight. Okay, so what do you think? Has there been an equal highlight in your editorial and or magazine and or advertising
I mean,
career?
of course, I did Gucci a couple of times. Like I did some shows and I did campaigns. It was really also like really cool. The shooting were amazing. Considering like magazines, I think I don't know. I did some like Vogue. One of the shoot was really fun. It was Vogue Italia.
Yes.
It was so fun.
Who was the photographer?
Oh, I unfortunately forgot her name.
You're joking me.
I'm sorry.
That's terrible.
I know.
That's a. You can't do that. Joseph should have told you. You have to remember the bloody photographer's name. There's been a lot.
It's been a while.
You've been doing this since you were 14. There have been too
know.
many photographers to remember.
I
They come and go.
remembered her name, but
You
she
do.
has a kind of complicated. So she's
Oh,
from
really?
she's
Oh.
Swedish. So
I know who you're talking about. I think
I forgot.
I've bloody forgotten her name too now. You've made me forget the name.
Yeah, I know.
Oh Jesus. Never mind. Okay. What else? Okay, so what do you want to achieve now? Where are you going? What is the greatest for you? What would be the greatest phone call from Joseph tomorrow and a job? What do you want? What is it? What's the big dream job?
Oh.
Most girls, I should tell you at this point, say Victoria's Secret. I must say, statistically, Victoria's Secret is the number one all the bloody time. Is there anything else?
Well, yeah, Victoria's Secret is. I mean, it's
Would you say that?
I mean, I wouldn't.
Would you do it?
Yes, I would do it. That's for sure. I mean, it's amazing commercial
Opportunity.
option. Yeah. For me, I think I would love to do Maybelline campaign.
Maybelline, that's very specific.
It's one of the biggest companies.
Is it?
Yes.
And we're talking cash, pure cash. Yes, undeniably so. Fair enough.
Yeah, and let me.
What's the tagline to Maybelline? That's not you're worth it. That's L'Oreal. Does L'Oreal pay more than Maybelline?
I think Maybelline.
More.
I think so.
Yeah, it's a bit more special.
I'm. I was not really into like commercial part of business so far, but I think Maybelline, yes.
Maybelline, it is. We want Maybelline.
Yeah.
And magazine, photographer, all of that, that's all been done. Is there anything more to do?
Of course, in high fashion, it's another topic. You know, it's like I think there's two parts of business. There's
Can you have it both?
Uh,
Whose career do you think best embodies for you that perfect union between commercial success and credibility and high fashion credibility? Who's the model at the moment who you think is got it all? Does it have to be someone like Kendall Jenner? Does it have to be?
I think so,
it does,
really,
it has
nowadays.
To be. And I would suggest that nowadays, as with television, where television actors no longer have the stigma of being television actors, right? There was a time when if you had a career as a television actor, you weren't taken seriously in cinema. But because television has become the new cinema and the most important thing worldwide, that's completely changed. And I believe the same is, those rules have broken down in terms of modeling. That you can be a commercial model now, or a sexy model, and you can have a huge, credible career as an editorial girl. I think those things can happen.
Yeah, it depends on the look, of course.
Of course.
And in general, that's true. But I think nowadays the business in general has completely changed. And
due to social media?
Yes, social media was the reason why, one of the biggest reasons why, I think. But it's just money, you know. It's a huge business. And it's all united now. It's cinema, it's modeling, that's what I was talking about before.
I see.
It's all together, and I think that if you can do anything, if you are a model, for example, if you are not on enough level of your image,
all those opportunities can come to you, right? And they will. You're gonna make movies, Eva.
Thank you, really.
No, I'm sure of it. There's that totally. Okay, so what can we leave with for this section of the interview? As some advice for young models starting out? What do they need to know that you would like to have known when you started off that can help them a bit in thinking about what it is to be a model?
I think that the most important thing is not to let other, like people from the outside, to affect on you too much. It's important to listen the suggestions and of like the important people who is like around you. I mean, from your like agencies, whatever, from your parents, from your like people you trust. But I always ask yourself, what do you really think about it? What is really good for you? Because no one knows what is actually good for you. And like some, you know, on many things what I was doing with myself, even considering my look or like this kind of things, you know, which are actually has to be like this decision have to be made by like my agencies or by someone, you know, like above me, someone who's like, yeah. But I was always actually making what I really feel like bleaching my hair or like choosing certain things to do, choosing certain things to wear. Very often, especially in Europe, our agencies make us really to be,
conform.
Yeah, to be certain, to look in a certain way, to behave in a certain way, and I think it really takes a lot of personality out of us. It really breaks us a lot, and what I think is that no one is gonna make you. You know, no one is gonna, let's say rude, let's use a rude word, like no one is gonna sell you unless you feel like you can be sold, you know? Till I felt like, oh, okay, I like myself, oh, I really feel like I am myself, I wasn't working really well. I wasn't feeling comfortable in the clothes my agency was giving me, was asking me to wear on the castings. They were not my clothes.
I'm surprised that even happens.
Yeah, that happens on fashion weeks. They just change their clothes of the girls before the castings.
Wow, that's wild, man. Do they have their resident stylists then in the agencies?
They have a certain, like a few clothes there from like H&M and Zara, and they just bring all the girls in the morning before the castings, and then they just switch the clothes.
Wow, that's amazing. I never knew about that. That's crazy. So be yourself at all costs. Stay true to who you are.
Yes, but also, don't go too far, don't get too high with it, because sometimes you can think that, I'm like a boss myself, I know better, I can do whatever I want. No, that's not the right thing, because you collaborate with people. And
yes, be aware.
Yeah, be aware, and it's really, really important. It's really important to build the right relationships with the people you work with, because it's gonna be really hard to rebuild them after. It's possible, but it's really hard.
So don't fuck up too many times.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Because reputation is very important
It's
in this
very
business.
important, yeah.
Yes, it is. Protect that.
It's
at
very
all
hard
costs.
after if you did
Yes,
something.
of course.
We all do mistakes. Well,
And
it's
fashion
our
people
fault.
don't forget very easily.
Yeah.
They've
Well,
got-
the good thing about nowadays also, I think that the business is changing now, and it's more like fashion people are like, it's not so many fashion people in the industry anymore. They're more like they're more of business people, and I love it actually. Like my agency here in New York, there's so much business.
It's more professional.
So easy to work with this kind of people.
That's great. Now let's leave with what your philosophy of life is. What makes you happy, and what's it all about? What's the meaning of life for you?
I'm a really happy person, and I'm really enjoying every day of my life, every moment. Sometimes I even feel like it's not happening to me. Really, every day, at some point, I feel like, oh my God, is it really happening to me? I can see everything around me. Sometimes I'm getting excited so much of like those kind of things as, hearing sounds or like smelling.
Do you believe in ghosts?
In ghosts?
What are these sounds?
No, well, I believe in everything, and I think that everything is possible, and that everything is has its place in the universe, and it actually exists at the same time, but at the same time, actually nothing exists. And I think that our reality, the fiction of our mind, but the good thing is that I think our soul is deadless.
Infinite.
It will be
Yes.
forever.
Yes.
It will exist forever.
So we're choosing to have an experience in consciousness at the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
This is your own soul deciding it's doing this.
It's all about energy. It's just we all are, everything around us, and we are certain kind of energy.
Yeah.
And we pull to ourselves what we deserve by this level. And I think the most important thing is just to balance yourself, to be friend, if it's correct to say, with yourself, to really listen to really know what is good for you, and to just to not to overthink. We overthink a lot. We think too much.
Sure. Especially Librans.
Yeah.
It's very obvious sitting here next to you that you have the energy and you have the joy. So I wanted to thank you for bringing that energy and joy to this
Thank
material
you so much.
moment in time and space.